just dropped it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Noelle, and today we are talking about the OpenRock S2 open-ear air conduction sport earbuds. So OpenRock sent me this maybe 2-3 weeks ago. They've previously sent me the OpenRock X, which is another sport earphones. This one is priced somewhere in the $100 price range. So it's a different segment of the market. It has a different product offering, different build quality. And they basically just asked me to give my honest thoughts about these sport earbuds. And so here we are. I will have an unboxing video playing across the screen as I read out to you the specs of the OpenRock S2. So each earbud weighs 7 grams. The total weight of the entire assembly, including the charging case, is 58 grams. And it has a battery life of 8 hours just for the earbuds, and 32 hours in total when you recharge with the charging case. Charging takes about 1.5 hours from 0 to 100%. And if you really need a quick charge, 5 minutes on the charger or on the charging case gives you an hour of use. It is sweat-proof with an IPX5 rating and has 4 mic AI noise cancellation so that your calls are clearer and your voice comes across even in slightly noisy and windy environments. It can stay connected up to 10 meters and supports multiple Bluetooth connections. You can use it to control the camera on your smartphone remotely, and its medical-grade silicone allows for comfort and long wear, with an open ear design that's better for your ear health and comfort. My initial impressions as I opened this box up. First of all, the only thing that's in the box is the charging case and the earbuds themselves. Open that up for you. Here's the charging case, and it opens up. This is the indicator that tells you that there is enough charge in this to charge these all the way up to 100. The earbuds themselves are quite small. And what I really liked about this entire thing is that it does have physical buttons instead of touch buttons or touch-based access to controls. So those are the buttons right on the ends of the bottom of the earphone, which you can use to stop and start music, answer and disconnect calls. Long presses you can program using the OpenRock app to skip backwards, to skip forwards, to do volume up, volume down, that sort of thing. So as someone who doesn't really like touch screen beyond my smartphone or a tablet, a physical button makes for more precise handling of tiny things, you know? Especially when your hands are wet, sometimes that makes the touch screen go crazy. Or, you know, if you touch, I think I had an earbud where if I touched it the wrong way or the wrong sequence, I could accidentally end a call or turn my music off, skip ahead or back another track. And that was just not great. Also, you know, when I would lie down on one side, sometimes it would inadvertently touch press something, I don't know, and the controls would go awry. So yes, physical buttons do matter to me. The reason why I pointed out that this was the only thing inside the OpenRock S2 box is because this does not come with its own charging cable. However, it does come with a USB-C port, which I'm not sure you might be able to see. It is there you go. That's the USB-C port, which is compatible with many devices we already have on hand. My smartphone charges on a USB-C cable, so I can use that same charger to charge the charging case for the OpenRock S2. And it's just in line with I think it was a Europe-led initiative just to eliminate electronic waste and not provide so many things which would eventually end up in landfills. And that's why with many new smartphones, you won't have the charging bricks included. For this one, no charging brick, no cable as well. It just relies on you to use stuff that you already have before. If you don't have a USB-C charging cable and a charging brick, the one that goes into your wall, the wall adapter, then you can purchase one separately. I first received this, I had just gotten wisdom tooth removal surgery, so I wasn't able to run with it right off the bat. However, during that period, I listened to a lot of music. I was working, so I still needed to make a bunch of teleconference calls. Yes, even with a swollen face, I still needed to get on these calls and do my work. And the OpenRock S2 was so great at that because the music, you know, it has a 12mm driver and base direct technology. That's what the specs sheet says. But what this meant for me was it was already pretty, I mean, it sounded great in my ears, but I didn't really have to pump up the volume either to be able to hear things coming out from the speaker, the 12mm driver. So yeah, I was able to keep the volume low and still hear my music, or also still hear my calls, but also have situational awareness. And this also protected my ears because I wasn't listening to music at too loud a volume. And speaking of conference calls, the people I spoke with were happy to report that I did not sound muffled at all. My voice was coming out loud and clear. And usually I have a bit of trouble with true wireless sound earphones. At some point, my laptop stops connecting to them or it drops the connection. And I have to remove the device and then re-add it to the laptop. In this case, in the OpenRock S2's case, the connection remained steady and strong and it did not disconnect and I did not need to re-add the device repeatedly. Maybe the one thing that this one didn't have, or maybe I didn't notice it, is that it didn't really have a low battery indicator. It didn't speak into my ears and say low battery. So I did not know that these were running out of charge. And that was the only time that the laptop dropped the connection and the people I was speaking with did not hear me. And I had to use a physical connection back to the laptop. I had to use an earphone jack because I needed to stay connected on the call with them. But other than that, yeah, once I got these earphones charged up again in the charging case, connection stayed steady and clear. So yeah, really good. And when it came to the calls, voice calls, I think also because it does have the 4-mic AI, and AI is a buzzword. Sometimes I think it is meaningless, but in this case, the noise cancellation technology works. Even if an electric fan was blowing directly into my face, I don't think the people I was speaking with on the calls heard the wind shear, that sort of sound that usually happens when you have wind blowing into a microphone. And it also kind of muted any other ambient noise. You know, somebody yelling in the background or some dogs barking in the distance or an airplane flying overhead. These probably filtered out a lot of that noise. And so I didn't have to mute myself constantly during these conference calls. And then when I was able to finally start running, I used the OpenRock S2 to connect with my smartwatch, which has music stored on it, and I was able to listen to my music while I was running. I also connected separately to my smartphone. So both devices were connected to the earphones at the same time. So I could take calls on the smartphone and I could also hear the music from my watch and I could also hear the voice prompts from any coaching during the run that I was receiving. And this all worked really seamlessly. Like, I didn't have to fiddle with any settings. Linking the OpenRock S2 with the smartwatch was really simple and easy as well. Sometimes, when I link earphones to this watch, it takes a really long time, and sometimes the device just fails to pair. This one, really easy, and it didn't, like the laptop, I didn't have to constantly delete the device and repair it. With regard to the 10-meter distance, it can stay connected up to 10 meters. Yes, I can confirm that it stays connected at unexpected distances. Like, for instance, I think one time I had the OpenRock S2 connected to my phone, and then I left the phone running on the ground floor of our house, and then I went upstairs and went across another corner of the house, and my music kept playing in the ears. I didn't really lose connection until I think I went into a bathroom, and then that completely to the phone and the earphones, it was kind of like it had lost line of sight, and that was when the connection went patchy. But once I emerged from that bathroom, that blind spot, the music started pumping through the earbuds again, and yeah, it stayed connected. In terms of comfort, the OpenRock S2 is made out of medical grade silicone. It makes it almost disappear against your ear when you're wearing it, because you don't really feel any weight on the ear. This silicone connector is really quite flexible, and they call it liquid silicone, which I don't know if that's the right term for it, because it's obviously a solid, but it's very, very flexible so that it will conform to the shape of your ear like that. So I'm putting it on right now. And once it's on there, there's not much weight added on to your ears, especially if you're used to wearing sunglasses when you're running, or eyeglasses if you're if you have poor eyesight like me. Very lightweight, very comfortable. And the fact that it is like open ear air conduction, the speakers just pump the sound straight into your ear canal. It makes for a very comfortable listening experience, and my ears do not feel fatigued. I actually just get bored of the stuff I'm listening to, or want to concentrate and want to silence everything, and that's the only reason I take these earbuds off. When it comes to water resistance, yeah, obviously it's IPX5 rated, which means it's splash proof. You can get caught in a heavy rainstorm, and this will be okay. But one of the things that OpenRock touts is the actual design of the earbud, which allows water to slide off. The angles are such that the water slides off without getting into any of the ports or other, places that water can get into in any device and cause trouble. So yeah, that just is like added protection against shorting out anything. I also mentioned earlier that it has a remote camera shutter control. So if the OpenRock S2 is connected to your smartphone via Bluetooth, and then you open your camera app, you can use the physical buttons to trigger the shutter. So if it's on photo, it will trigger a photo to be taken. If it's on the video setting, then it will start the video recording. And then if you hit it again, it will stop the video recording. So that was a nice little extra functionality for the OpenRock S2, especially as I like going out for runs and then recording myself for the run, because I have to create content. And, sometimes it's just a hassle to try to hit the trigger on the camera, have a timer set on it, and then just run and then do my thing across the screen. and have to hit the button again to stop the video recording or something like that. So if you have that remote shutter control, then it makes this process, this selfie process or recording process, a little easier to bear. So the OpenRock S2 Open Ear Air Conduction Sport Earbuds are available on the OpenRock website. Right now, it's retailing for $98.99. That's in US dollars. But I have a little something for you. OpenRock has given me a 15% off code, which you can use upon checkout, so you can get a discount. And the code is Noel. Once again, you can get 15% off your OpenRock S2 earbuds by using my promo code Noel. I really do think that it is my favorite now among all of the open ear sport earbuds that I have reviewed so far, and that's because of the ease of use, like just being able to connect to all of my devices and not having them like load and yeah, you have to go back into pairing mode because it just lost the connection. No, none of that happened with the OpenRock S2, and so the ease of use is great. The battery life is also great. I think I have had to charge the charging case just once in the past 3 weeks. I've also taken it with me on a trip, and not having an extra cable to think about bringing along was also something really nice because it is compatible with my phone charger. So if I remember to bring my phone charger, then I will be able to charge my OpenRock S2 charging case as well. Lastly, the audio quality for the phone calls was great as well. Sometimes, you know, with the older stuff that I've used and reviewed on this channel, it sounded quite muffled as compared to using the built-in microphone on my laptop or the smartphone. With the OpenRock S2, my voice was very clear, and I also really appreciated how lightweight the OpenRock S2 is. During my runs, especially as I was recovering from the wisdom tooth surgery, my ears were really quite sensitive. Also, my jaw was quite sensitive. So any additional weight or stress put upon this part of my face was very annoying, but I didn't experience any discomfort whatsoever using the OpenRock S2. And for that, I really, really like them. And I will continue using them beyond the review period. And I definitely think that you guys should give these a try. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, if you found it interesting and informative, please do give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you again next time. Thank you all. Bye-bye.